Well, hello, Jolynn. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good today.
Awesome. How's it going out there?
It's crazy. I got my one of my kids are getting married in 2 days, so it's just been chaos.
My gosh, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It is. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your journey as an artist, and then just how you came across this product that you work with. This is how we all got connected. Was through the Crystal Evo, right?
Yeah, I picked it up about 3 years ago. I really like it.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love the way you told us it transformed your work, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. But first, I just want you to tell everyone, a little bit about you, like your background, how you got started in your journey in being an artist.
Well, I before I got married, I have a degree in painting. I didn't do anything with glass. Glass was not even on my radar. And then I got married and I had 3 kids under 2 and I didn't do anything art-wise for 10 years. All I did was try to shower every day. It was like I wasn't thinking about art at all. I was just trying to survive. And
Exactly.
then when my youngest was I had 4 kids by that point. My youngest hit kindergarten and all of a sudden she was all day kindergarten. That's what they do here in Utah. And
Hmm.
I'm like, "Well, what do I do with myself?" So I went back to my art degree, and then I also went back to school and got my teaching degree because
Mm.
I like teenagers for some weird reason. So I
They're a
started to
curious breed, aren't they?
they're so impulsive, it's kinda cool. Like, you watch their brain, and it doesn't work right, and it's fascinating. Anyway,
I
and so
know
I
mine probably didn't either back then. So
no, I don't think any of us did. We didn't know we were nuts until we got to be adults, and we're like, "Yeah, we were stupid." Yeah.
it's amazing we even made it to adulthood, really. But
I
anyway.
know. But and then so I started teaching high school. And the first year teaching, I had a principal show up and say, "Hey, new teacher, do you want to teach a stained glass program?" And I said, "Do we have one of those?" He's like, "Nope, but you got to start one." And I'm like, "Okay,
Oh
yeah, I
boy.
can figure that out." And I had never done stained glass really in my life. So I started figuring that out, and I was in the middle of my master's degree right then. So I decided to do a thesis on stained glass curriculums for secondary high school. So I started making that up. Totally had to make it from scratch. There's not a soul in Utah that teaches stained glass.
Wow.
But I started this program and it was super popular at this high school. And I was still painting on the side. I've got galleries and museums I paint for and stuff. But I suddenly realized about a year into the program that I had buckets and buckets of just little tiny scrap glass that I couldn't bear to throw away. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
So I just kept sticking it in closets. And eventually I had too much. And one year, about 4 years ago, I had a student teacher and I was bored because she was teaching and looked at the glass and said, "I wonder if I could paint with this.
Mm.
There's got to be a way I could use this." So I just started slopping pieces down, and all of a sudden I had a wolf, and I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." So I started experimenting and bleeding everywhere because you get cut. Went through a lot of
There's that
edges.
aspect. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I'm
Sharp
always
edges.
but then I got to the grouting, and I grouted. I didn't like the grouting. I every time I grouted, it changed the color. Like I
That's
would
what
have,
you were telling us.
yeah,
Like,
I hated
would
it.
it make it like an opaque or white or something? What was it doing?
It would like when you go grout with normal grout, it separates every piece into its own little piece because you're outlining it
Oh.
basically. So if you outline it with black grout, all of a sudden you've got almost a crafty, cartoony look.
Oh
And if you
no.
outline it with white grout, you can't tell what it is at all.
Mm.
So you have to find this mystical one color that will make it work perfectly. And I just couldn't. I was so frustrated. I almost gave up mosaics then and there.
Mm.
I says, "I'm not doing this." I says, "I cannot figure this out. And there's apps out there that'll help you." Kind of. And I got mad. So then I started not grouting, but then the pieces would pop off really
Oh
easily
right.
because things get in there in between. So,
So
and
you
then
would just put the glass pieces just butted up together, basically, without any grout, right? On
kind of,
that.
but I didn't know the square method, the ondamental method of mosaics where you can do that. You can put them right up against each other. Because remember, I had no experience in mosaics. I had no idea what I was doing. I was making it
Right.
as I go along. So I was just doing random cuts, which is why I'm so fast, is because I can just randomly cut it. but it leaves gaps, leaves little gaps. So
Mhm.
you can't butt it up easily. It's not like a perfect puzzle.
Exactly, yeah.
And one day I saw a guy doing the translucent grout on a video, and I says, "Oh, maybe that would solve all my problems." And I tried it out and I loved it.
Wow.
I just looked up the brand that he was using, and it happened to be the Liquitol? Crystal
Lidocaol,
Evil.
yeah.
Yeah, Crystal Evil, and I says, "Well, I'll do what he's doing." And, I ordered it off Home Depot,
Mhm.
and I got it home, and I opened it up, and I said, "This looks like dirty oatmeal and hardener," but it worked great. So
I
I
love your description of things,
it
man. That is
sounds like
so
dirty oatmeal.
funny.
But it worked great, I loved it, and it blurs the colors together. It doesn't
Mm,
separate each piece into an individual piece, and it doesn't have the dull matte look of grout. Like, normal grout has a dull look to it, and you've got this
that
pretty
cement looking grout, right?
yeah, and it kinda took away from my pretty glass, but the Liquitol has the glass shards in it. It's just glass
Right.
beads, basically. So I still have the same shine. And then I can dye it any color I needed, but I didn't need to most of the time because it blurs the colors all around it, and then it made it kinda look painterly, like a watercolor kinda.
That is the coolest discovery that you made. I mean, so tell me about like, because everybody talks about that in this industry. They talk about the cementous grout, which is that kind of, grainy sand looking stuff. But then they came out with epoxy, which is what you're using with that. How was it for you to use that, mix it, and like, how was the ease of use? I'm just curious.
It's easy to use if you use a lot of water. Like
Mm.
normal grout, they tell you no water, no water, no water. So if you treat it the same, it's hard to get off. But if you just get a wetter sponge or even a baby wipe, it comes off really easy. And
Oh,
the
that's
nice thing,
cool.
yeah, and the nice thing about it is you can wipe it off right away. While normal grout, you have to wait 10 minutes and then you have to be very careful when you wipe it off, and it leaves this weird haze. You got to wipe it off again. Then you got to get a vinegar and you have to seal it because it's not waterproof. And
Oh,
it's
that's
just
true.
it's a lot of steps. Where this, I just after I put it on, I just wipe it off immediately and I'm done. I can just
Wow. So you're just doing it as you go.
yeah, you can do as you go. You got about an hour after you put it on to wipe it
Hmm.
off, and you have to wipe it off. You can't wait. But it's easy to wipe off with a watery sponge or the baby wipe.
So it sounds like you got yourself a good method with the work that you do with it.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
I know I use it all. I only use it now. I don't even buy the sanded stuff. And I teach high school, and
Mhm.
we do mosaics, and I only let the kids use the Liquitol now. I don't even let them use the sanded stuff.
Oh, that's
And
great.
they love it. They love how easy it is to work with too. So, and it's not toxic.
So they find it easy too.
Yeah, they like it a lot better than the sanded stuff. The sanded stuff just has a haze. No matter what we do, we finally have to dunk it in vinegar, and it's just really hard to make it look pretty.
Wow. So it looks like we're in like, is this your studio that you're sitting in right now?
Yeah, this is my glass studio. I have a painting studio in the room next door, and then I had the glass studio here. Although
Oh,
there's a couple
neat.
paintings behind me.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
This is
incredible.
glass.
So you started off in oil painting, is that correct?
And I still oil paint. I
You
still have
still,
my
wow.
galleries and my museums and stuff. In
Wow.
fact, I put up a show today locally. So I still do all that because I love painting, which is what
Hmm.
influences my pieces. I don't mosaic like normal. Like I was at a conference for mosaics about 3 years ago in New York, and I had a lady come up to me and she patted me on the shoulder and she said, "Honey, when you get good, you'll know you're doing it wrong." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing it wrong?" She's like, "The Romans don't do it that way." And I told her, I says, "Well, I'm not Roman." And then she got really mad at me and she didn't speak to me for the rest of the conference. But apparently I'm doing it wrong. But I like my method, so I'll keep doing it wrong.
See, to me, that just to me tells me you're a maverick in that sense. You're doing
Yeah.
it your
Well,
way, right?
I like my way. My way's a heck of a lot faster.
I love that so much.
Jeez. You don't want to
Did
make little squares all the time. Heck no.
And hey, you just won an award. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, so the same conference, they do one every year, and I've been in they have a big show. It's an international show. They have people from Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and America. I think there might be one more country. They all enter, and then they take about of the hundreds of entries. They take about 40 to 45 entries every year.
Mm,
And I've gotten into the show the last 2 years, but I've never won anything. And then this year, I put in my piece, my childhood memory, chalk memories piece,
Mm-hmm.
and it won. I was shocked. I
Best in
the
show, right?
Yeah, best in show. I was
Wow.
stunned because it's not the square method, which 3 years ago I got yelled at for not doing. So I was like, "What?" I was pretty stunned. But I was very, very honored because there were some amazing pieces in that show. I've seen pictures of them, and there's some great pieces.
Hey, congratulations again. And tell us, like, what did they say anything to you? Like, what did they base the judging on it, or did they say anything about what won the award for you in this
Well,
piece?
what hell? I looked at the judging, and they said a lot of the score is based on skill and the message behind the piece.
Mm,
And a lot of mosaic artists just make something nice looking, which is fine. But if you want it to get to that artsy level, there should be kind of something behind the piece other than it just looks nice.
yeah.
So it had a really good story about when my mom died. My mom
Mm.
died when I was 13, and I remember she died suddenly in a car accident.
Oh, I'm so
And
sorry.
it was not very fun. And I
Ugh.
remember spending a ton of time just laying in the grass. And I'm religious, so I believe in the afterlife. So I'd lay in the grass and just look up in the sky and think, is she seeing me right now? Does
Mm.
she even know she's gone? Does she think about me? And I
Oh.
just would hurt. And so the piece shows a little boy. I did a boy because I had done two girls in a row the pieces before, so I just picked a boy this time. But I have him laying on a sidewalk or pavement, and he's taken a piece of chalk and he's
Mm-hmm.
drawn an outline of his mom. And he's like laying on her like he's being embraced by her again. And he's just thinking about her. And then on the shirt in Chinese, it says left behind. Because that's how I felt. I just felt
Oh my God, that is
empty.
amazing.
And
I
it was
didn't know the story behind it. That is incredible. That
so
does make a huge difference.
it does make a difference. So I think that was a major thing because it was highly skilled, but I think the story behind it touched the judges, and I think that was what made things happen differently. And the main judge, was more into she's into innovation,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so she didn't mind that it wasn't the traditional way.
Mm. There you go. See, innovation, Maverick. There you are. And your mom was with you, and isn't that kind of interesting too?
Yeah, it was a rough time, and and things are great now because I'm
Mm-hmm.
time heals most wounds. But I remember how I felt, so I was trying to
Mm.
portray that in the piece.
And I think that kind of art really, people find a connection more with that. Um,
Mhm.
that they just, like you said, there's some beautiful pieces, and they look pretty, but it may not have that same heart tug or connection to it. So,
Yeah, the mosaic world is mostly crafty. And that's
mm,
the problem. There's a lot of shows I'm not even allowed to enter because as soon as I say it's a mosaic, they won't let me enter it because they say it's not an art. So
mm,
my goal right now in my art career with mosaics is trying to get mosaics accepted as an art again. So by having a message behind it, I can put that easier into the art realm than if I just made a piece. And I still make a lot of mosaics that are artsy that don't have a message. I
mm-hmm.
make a lot of them. But I found that the shows and the museums and stuff, they want something behind it.
That's a niche, it seems like. I mean, there could be other people, like you're saying, could be other people doing it, but like for you, that seems to be like your natural. I know I said niche, it could be niche. I don't know what the heck the I'm going with niche. I don't know what to say. But that's incredible. So when did you first know or have an inkling that you were an artist?
I did
When
art in high school, but I did
mm-hmm.
it because I was kind of bored.
Mm.
I was good at it. I was, but I really didn't it wasn't in my blood, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
passionate wise until later.
Mm.
I was in college. I wanted to become, at the time, an elementary teacher or a rancher. Again, I was weird. And I kept changing my major over and over and over, and I just couldn't find anywhere to settle. I went to veterinary for a little bit. I did math for a little bit. And finally, my counselor looked at me and said, I don't want to see you back in here again. He says, just pick something. And I says, well, I don't know what to pick. And they says, well, your art classes, you're getting A's in there. Do that. And I says, I don't want to be an artist. And he says, well, we're not letting you come back in. So that's what we're doing. And he just put down art major. So I went home, and I'm a pretty smart person. And I said, Dad, I'm going to be an artist now. And he's like, why? You're going to start. I Says, "Well, my I don't dare go back to the counselor, and now it's all my transcripts that way." So I ended up getting an art degree and kinda, like 'cause I had nothing else to choose from.
That's
Then
so funny. Well, it
then I
seems
got
like it's
married.
perfect for you. I mean, my goodness. So, I mean, other than like you're saying, you have art in different galleries, like in physical galleries, because I know
Mhm,
you've got your Etsy page.
mhm.
Um, where can people find your work, oil and mosaic?
Mosaics, oh, I don't have a gallery at the moment for mosaics because I sell them so fast, there's no need for a gallery.
That's great.
I sell them halfway done making them. I don't even have any for you to even show you other than a half done one because I don't have any in the studio. They're sold.
Man, how does that feel that you're getting them just like hotcakes?
It's
That's crazy.
nice, good money, but, it's kind of a pressure too. You're like, "Well, I only have 2 hands, and I'm gonna bleed to death if I go any faster than I'm already doing, so I'm just gonna have to keep it slow," and plus I work full time as a teacher.
That's true.
So and I have 4 kids.
And you
They're
have
all
four
older,
kids.
but yeah.
How old is your youngest?
She's 17 now, so
So
they're older, they can be by themselves while I make stuff now, and they know now to
true.
come to the studio, especially with bare feet. But, it's good, I have more time now, but it's just the energy.
Like, so for example, do you start work and then you put it on your Etsy and then people see it and they're like, I want it and they buy it? I mean, how does that happen?
I only put prints on Etsy, I don't even put originals
Oh,
anymore. I like to po I don't believe in secrets with artists. I think we should be telling I don't think in magician tricks. It's not a
mm,
I wanna promote the idea that it's just a lot of hard work and practice. It's not this mythical talent force that somehow makes stuff. So I explain my process a lot, and I answer any questions anybody wanna ask me about what I use and why I do it. And so I post on forums and social media, and I that's where I sell. I don't even sell my originals on Etsy. I usually
oh,
have them
wow.
sold very quickly on social media. Now
Gotcha.
the
And,
paintings are different. The paintings, it's a lot bigger pond I'm swimming in.
mm-hmm.
So it's I need the galleries and the shows and the museums and stuff because there's a lot more people to compete with.
Yeah, true. So when you say galleries and shows, they're literally literal galleries and online galleries and
Mhm.
the different art
Yeah.
shows and stuff.
Yeah, I've had galleries across the United States. Right now, I mainly have them in Utah.
It's so interesting that we're in in a day and age where you can do those things where you can put stuff online or sell it in other ways, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
it's not like the brick and mortar, old days. It's still there, but it's not just that, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact and it is work. I have to market, I have to post videos, and I have to talk about stuff a lot. So you have to
Hmm.
kinda let them into your lives a little more, where now I have to, like, show a process, and I talk about it, and, I share about it, and then people get interested, and they wanna buy them. So it's a little different kinda work. But
Hmm.
then I don't pay anyone half percent so I can make them cheaper. Like, if
True.
I put these in the galleries, I'd have to mark it up double because I only get half.
Right. That
So I can
makes
keep
sense. That's a good way of looking at that business side of it, that business aspect of it. So, do you ever have people that commission a mosaic from you? Has that ever happened where they just go, I've seen your work, I want you to do this or whatever?
just one so far because my commission prices are a little more because I have to do what they wanna do, so I'm
Hmm.
kinda paying for the fact that I have to put up with you in a nice way. Um, but so I've had one done, and it was a fun piece. It was a family history piece of their
Oh, neat.
ancestor, and it was a fun piece to make.
Do you have any videos of you like start to finish going through the process? I know that'd be sounds like it'd be a pain in the butt to do, but I was just curious.
I'm making a fox right now, and they the for a mosaic workshop I'm teaching,
Mm,
and I gotta get the head fox done. So I've been videoing that.
cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I was just curious, like, do you feel like now that you've gone from oil and now, not that you've gone away from it, but you got oil and you got the oil informed the mosaic, but do you see the mosaic informing the oil at all? Or is it just not even?
I think it will eventually. I don't
Mm,
think we're there yet. I've done painting, remember, off and on for, 20 something years. I've only been doing mosaics about 4.
yeah, that's
Um,
true. Yeah.
maybe eventually it's more painting influencing my mosaics, which is why they look so different than most people.
Your ideas, it looks like do they just come born out of your head? Like the one with the girl underwater, which is so
Um,
pretty. Obviously, it could, well, I don't know, it could have been a photograph that inspired that, but do they normally just come right out of your head as far as like the ideas?
the composition does. Like,
Mhm.
I'll be like, for example, the girl under the water. I
Mhm.
wanted to do someone with the bluey colors.
Mm.
Because it was only the second portrait I'd ever done in Mosaics was that one. And I was too intimidated by normal skin color yet, even though I can paint it without a problem.
Ah.
So I kind of want to do it. I was kind of wanted to do a distorted one. So I
Mhm.
painted, and I hadn't done a mosaic yet. I actually painted that one first in watercolors and oils. I was trying to practice if I could do. By the way, that you don't usually do that. But I took watercolors as a base with the water and the fish, and then I sealed it off, and then I put oil on top of it. And
Mm.
I was just practice playing with it, and it worked. And I was like, I wonder if I could mosaic this because this wasn't too scary. I'd already painted it, so I kind of already figured out some of the problems.
Then you got a roadmap or something to follow either
Yeah,
way, yeah.
I made it. It was basically a study, so that's when I started that one. So that one came from the painting, which came out of my head,
Mm.
and then I made references and got references and stuff, and I combined up a whole bunch of different references.
So, like, someone who sees your work, sees this interview, and starts discovering what you do, what would your advice be to a beginning mosaicist to, like, what would you tell them?
Mosaics, I'd say start small. Don't make anything bigger than an 8x8 at first
Mm.
because you're gonna run out. You're gonna be frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to quit halfway because it's slow in parts. This is not a fast medium.
Yeah.
So start small and don't go too complex too fast. Like don't do heads for a while if you want to get into figurative. Start with a simple animal or a simple flower. Don't make it too hard.
Well, Jolene, thank you so much for joining us today.